Alright, so it's been a while. Life's been a bit crazy. Um, I have been working on this deck and test playing it as much as I can. And I really like how it plays. I really think after the next ban list, if we get a big crucifixion ban list like everyone's expecting, I really think this deck's going to be at the top of the level. So this is my Tenyi Swordsoul deck. If you don't own Ecclesias, because they are a little hard to get a hold of, this will be perfect for you because I myself cannot get my hands on them. So my build will not have Ecclesia in, just as a spoiler. So if you can't get an Ecclesia, then this is probably a good list for you. So we'll go ahead and get right into it. So the main deck is 40 cards. Start things off, we got triple Swordsoul of Moe. Best normal summon or special summon you can really do. It's easy to produce a token, and when it's used for a synchro summon, you get to draw a card, which is nice because you can chain block your Shishao by making your Shishao Chain Link 1 and your Moe draw Chain Link 2. So that's always nice. And then we're playing 3 Long Young. Probably the second best Swordsoul card in the main deck, besides the Rhoda. So basically, you just pitch, special summon, and you can make a Baron, and that'll help you play around an Imbiru before your 5th summon, which is really, really nice, because when you get Imbiru'd, it does hurt. Excuse me. Next, we're playing Double Taya. I mean, when she's used for synchro summon, she is a foolish, which is nice, but I'm only playing 2 because of Desires. I feel like 3 is too bricky. If this was pure, I'd definitely probably only play 1. I really don't like the card that much. And then for our Tenyis, we are playing our 3 Ashuna. When this card's in the graveyard, banish it, special summon a Tenyi from the deck, but you're locked in War Monster rest turn, which is fine because most of our deck is Worm. Next, we got double Vegeta. When it's in the graveyard, banish it, shuffle a card back on the field. It's very, very nice. Then for our last 10 use, we are playing double Adhara. Lets you recur stuff from your banish pile, which is always nice. And it is a tuner, which is very important. If you don't see any of your Swordsoul cards, but you have either Vessel or this with any one of these, you can get into your Swordsoul engine fairly easily. Unfortunately, it does leave you open to Nibiru. So that's the only blowback. So you have to be careful when doing that. And for our last monsters in the main deck, triple Ash Blossom Joyous Spring. Some people are really starting to kind of cut back on this card. I just don't feel comfortable enough cutting it because there's always a lot of rogue out there. You know, what the meta is, you may not experience locals and stuff like that. So for that simple fact, I just prefer to keep Ash in the main deck. So that's it for our monsters. Next, we have our spells. So we have our triple Swordsoul Emergence. This card is amazing. Tutors out any of your Swordsoul monsters from your deck to your hand. And when it's banished, it lets you fluctuate your levels, which can help you make like Synchro 9s for your Chao Fang, or your 7 for your Yazi and stuff like that. And we are playing 1 Sacred Summit. There's been talk of some people want to play 2. I think 1's fine just because you can just search it. I am on the Vessel team. I like playing 3 Vessel. If you open up this and Vegeta or Adhara, you can use this to dump your Ashina and go into your Swordsoul engine, which is really, really nice because you make your Shao Fang like that. But it can also search out a Tenyi if you control a Synchro monster, which is very, very nice. So, some people play 2. I could see a reason to play 2. I just like playing 3. I like having the most searches as I can. So for that, we're playing 3. And then we are playing triple Forbidden Chalice. This card is really, really good this format. Being able to bait out stuff like Phoenix Forcer and other monsters. It's really good in the mirror match too when your opponent can produce tokens. So, very, very good card this format. The next, this is just kind of my personal choice. I do like to play 3 triple tactics talents. You're never guaranteed to win the dice roll. For that reason, talents is great just for cracking boards or digging deeper into your deck. I know a lot of people hate playing 3. Some people really like this card. Some people really hate this card. I'm choosing to main deck it. I just think it deserves a spot in the main deck. Like I said, for cracking boards stuff, you're not guaranteed one dice rolls. It's always nice just to kind of have a backup card. And even if you are going first in the Ash Blossom, your Xiaofeng or a Moe or whatever, or if you're playing Ecclesia, you have the Ash Blossom in your Ecclesia. And you have this in hand, you get to draw 2 cards. So, it's not the worst, not the best, but it's still pretty good. Next, we are playing Triple Pot of Desires, because Pot of Greed's good. You play so many duplicates in this deck, you don't really care what you banished. And then the one Called by the Grave, I've been debating between that and Imperial Order. I just seem to like Called by the Grave a little bit more in this build, so that's it for our spells. Then for our traps, we are playing Triple Infinite Impermanence. Another really good hand trap this format. It's just so easy to hit stuff like Alistair and Needle Fiber, stuff like that, just to kind of halt your opponent's turn. So, you can also play Effect Veiler too. If you don't feel like playing Ash Blossom, you can play Effect Veiler, Chalice, and Imperm. I've seen some people doing 3 Imperm, 3 Veiler, 3 Ash. I guess it depends on what your locals is at, or if you're going to one. YCS is coming up next year. We got Pasadena and Vegas. We won't be there at any of those just because they're super far away and travel ain't really expensive, and obviously the world is a mess right now. And then to round out our last 2 traps, we are playing Double Blackout. This card is insane, especially when you have your Cheng Yang on field. I think that's how you say his name. Big Synchro 10 guy. He can't be destroyed by card effects, and because targeting his cost, you target him, and then you pop 2 cards on your opponent's side of the field, and he can't pop. So, really, really nice. Or you can always use one of your monks or a token for targeting and destruction. Alright, so that's it for the main deck. Like I said, it is 40 cards. Now we'll go on to the extra deck. So, not part of the extra deck, but I figured John hooked me up with them, so obviously we got our 3 tokens. Her little sheep tokens, because we don't have actual Swordsoul tokens yet. Alright, next we have 3 monk and 1 shaman. So at first I was doing 2 and 1, but I just feel like 3 is really good, especially in the grind game. So the 3rd one does come up when you grind, and if you're grinding, you don't have a 3rd one, it really does hurt. Shaman's good. It lets you kind of rebuild a board if you need to get into a board. The only unfortunate side is you can't activate monster effects except from the extra deck, except for Tenyi monsters. So you can't activate any of your Swordsoul effects after you do her effect for that turn. So that can hurt, so just be aware of how you use it. And then going to our sinkers, we are playing Double Shishao. It's a walking infinite impermanence. Lets you negate, lets you banish stuff from a graveyard. And when it's Synchro Summon, you can add a Swordsoul card. So you can add a Swordsoul monster, a spell, your blockout. It's really, really good. And then 1 Cheng Yang. He's big Synchro 10 for the Swordsoul archetype. 3,000 base attack. He gains 100 for every banished card, which is really, really nice. Makes it easy to beat over Dragoon if he's already on board. He can't be destroyed by card effects, which is extra nice. And whenever a card is banished outside of the damage step, he can banish a card on field and graveyard from your opponent's side. So that can really be good, especially in a matchup where it's invokes your Dogmatica, Phantom Knights, Burning Abyss, stuff like that. And then next we have 2 Baxia and 1 Yazi and 1 Xiaofeng. So Baxia is a Synchro 8. It's super good. When it's Synchro Summon, it lets you spin back cards equal to the number of monsters used for the Synchro Summon. And when it's destroyed, you can Special Summon, I believe, is it Special Summon or is it add? Yeah, you can target 1 card you control and 1 level 4 lower monster on the field, and you do Special Summon the other monster, so that's nice. Then with Yang Zing, it's hard itself in the card on the field and pop it. Xiaofeng is in here for Drytron. So you make it with a Baxia, and then all Special Summon monsters with light is shut off on your opponent's side. So it's an auto win against Drytron. That's why we play it. And then a Dragite. So spell and trap negate. Generic, you can make it with a Moe, so you get a draw, and because the Moe is water and it's engraved, it is live. Next, we have a Drake Berserker of Tenyi. We play this because we play the Shaman, so if you do Shaman effect, special summon back a Moe or a Taie, Synchro Summon into this, and because it is a Tenyi monster, you can activate that effect. It can also help you OTK and stuff like that. It's very versatile card. If you're not playing it, I highly suggest you do. Next, we have a Ruddy Rose Dragon. This is an insane card when you're playing against other decks that rely heavily on the graveyard. You Synchro Summon it, it banishes all cards in both players' graveyard, which will boost up your Cheng Yang in the long run very heavily. So, it all around, it's a really good card, especially in your Phantom Knight matchup and stuff like that, because Phantom Knights are doing big things right now. They're doing really well. Which is one way to take away the resources, and this is one way to do that. And for our final card, 1 Baron de Fleur. This is actually a Euro print. The reason I didn't upload this earlier this week is because I was waiting on this card and it actually got delayed. So that kind of sucked. All around, just an absurd card. It can recycle itself from the graveyard. It's an Omni Negate. It can even make it for your 5th summon. It can stop Nibiru. It's just a really good card. This is one card, though, if you're playing Swordsoul of any variant, you need to play this card. Excuse me. All in all, it's just a fantastic card, and you really don't want to play without it. So, on that note, that is my Tenyi Swordsoul deck profile. I don't plan on playing tournaments until early next year. With the holiday stuff obviously coming up, we got Christmas coming up, we got on Thanksgiving. For those who don't know, I am a dad, so I'm very big with family time, and so I'm just kind of taking time to spend time with my daughter. And other family members, my mom and my sister and her wife. So, on that note, please like, comment, subscribe. Find us on TCG Player. We do list cards up there. John and his wife take care of that. So, stuff doesn't always get listed right away, but don't be afraid to check back periodically, see what we got up there, and give us some support. So, thank you, and we'll see you guys next time.